In this video, I want to explain a student model on the generic analysis on 15 online news sites. This model here was excellently written, and it's a strong 4. All right, I want you to look at what this student did, compare your work with it, and see where you stand, and it will shed light on why I gave you the score you did. Now, this student meets the basic requirements for the assignment and the title and the length of the sections and providing the sections. Um, there's evidence of careful proofreading and design in this work. Um, Now I copied and pasted it. It didn't come in as a Word document. It was properly submitted on the submission box. Notice how I start off. The student starts off with websites listed so that we get a sample of what he or she looked at. They're all now. If you want to read this, again, expand the screen, pause the video, and I recommend that you do. All right. We have a paragraph of just basic introduction here to the assignment. It's fairly well done. And this small little paragraph is basically saying, look, what follows next is it's going to be just a quick analysis, a quick general sketch of what an average news site looks like, and here it begins. All right, in general, right away, I know this is a general approach, right? News websites look very similar and easy to compare. The sites all tend to have white backgrounds. Means purity and truth among the various. Okay, all right, interesting interpretation, but they do have white backgrounds. Also, across the board of news sites is a social media tool. Okay, a section of the news site usually devoted to the current local weather. Each professional individual news site has to have some type of visual aid in order to balance out the text, slideshows, stuff like that. And you can continue reading this, but this was a very well done job. But just, hey, this is basically what you'll find on an online news site. Not so obvious as the surface generalities of the major news sites are various attention-seeking characteristics. All right, so, a specific in-depth characteristic. Now, we need a little hyphen here, but that's a small thing. I'm getting the writing that lets me know the student is ready to move away from the surface stuff into something more penetrating, more in depth, more specific, more under the radar. And the student very clearly lets us know that in the way he or she opens this paragraph. All right. Now, a specific in-depth characteristic of CNN, Fox, Yahoo, and News, ABC News, I get a good listing here, right? Specificity is really present here. I appreciate that. It's a consistent use of information about the company called Apple. So we can get rid of this. The iPhone, iPad, Mac producing company found its way across all 4 websites and sat in the most recent news of each. The Apple articles on each website were slightly different and seemed to cover different topics. One of the articles was about Apple founder, etc., etc., etc. Some were about Steve Jobs' yacht. Okay. Now, there's something, this student is demonstrating finesse and maturity in how to make writing decisions, because I said, hey, this should be section 2, right? So section 1 was what we already looked at. The student is willing to break up these sections into smaller paragraphs to provide a closer unity within each of those paragraphs. So, that's really good. I often see students just simply, okay, one section equals one paragraph. But no, sections are more broadly defined, and 2 or 3 paragraphs can work harmoniously together in one section to really get the job done, better than just one big old paragraph. So the student is making a mature decision to talk more about the in-depth characteristic in a separate paragraph. It seems strange to see an Apple article on all 4 big news sites. The billion-dollar Apple company has money to splurge, and getting their advertisements and latest inventions out to the public is on top of their priorities. In order to do this, the company reaches out to the most frequently visited websites. Okay, all right. Now, one thing that the student is hitting upon but may not have the language to articulate it is that often, if you have enough money and if you're big enough, you can present an advertisement as a news story. So it looks like a news story, okay? But its whole purpose is to promote the company. And so you craft these advertisements that really look like news sites. news events, news clips, and you sell them to news companies. You know, it looks like news. The company is getting them, or you give them to news companies, whatever. You know, the company is getting ready-made work that they can plug in. It looks like an article. It looks like something innocuous enough, some interesting tidbit of information. But the whole point, the whole reason it's there is that Apple is giving them money to put it there, and it's a type of advertising. All right, so that happens quite a bit, and this student noticed it. All right, and then there's a closing out section here. So this is very well done. All right, again, I encourage you. I gave you some time in the first part of this in the screenshot so that you can pause and read it. Here's some time here on the second part. Pause and read this. Really get to sense how this was very well done. All right, and then compare it with yours, and maybe that will give you some insight on the grade you received.